I was trying to open my drink, it was a callback to the last one, but it didn't work.
With the boys.
Right. All right, everyone, welcome back.
It's been a while.
It has been a while. To another episode of Day Off. We are your hosts.
Anto Gaming.
Just say your name. That's the problem we have with every single podcast. You always just say Anthony. Or are you not comfortable with
Anto Gaming is my YouTube channel. Just
and your other host, Sophia. And our soap labs, we're gonna do Anthony's thing. We're gonna do our screen names. So today, we decided to talk about this big thing that's kind of been looming over the Star Wars community
since 2014
for a hot minute. So today we decided that we would be talking about the Disney problem, and it's a touchy subject, for everyone, just for everyone who's involved in Star Wars, even just in the slice. It's a weird thing that's been, so we have, hopefully we'll be able to gain two different perspectives on the whole matter, because Anthony's definitely more on the gaming side of things, as you may know if you've seen his channel, and I'm definitely more on the film side of things, just by virtue of me being interested in film. So today we're just going to be kind of giving a rundown of how this all happened, and how it's been affecting,
the world.
The world, okay.
Literally.
Alright, so I actually,
A+ for the notes.
Yeah, I actually did some...
Let's see if I can do it.
You better, do it next to the A.
Oh, yeah, that was hot.
That was crisp. So as Anthony was saying, I've done some research prior. And, because I just wanted to be, if we're really going to talk about it, it can't just be like,
we'll just be ranting.
We'll just be ranting. I think it'd be important if we actually look at, some of the
facts behind it all.
The statistics, I got monies, I got the numbers, hey. So, I don't know, should we just start at the beginning?
Yes.
So.
No, let's start at the end.
It's about to be the end real soon, because I swear to God, after whatever the new one's going to be, the 9th film, they're going to be done.
They better be. They've already canceled Kenobi and everything else.
What do you think about that Mandalorian show? What do you think about that?
I don't care, really. It'll be cool for, maybe a couple episodes.
Well, the Resistance was cool for a couple of episodes?
It wasn't even cool for 2 minutes.
I know. Wait, should we... Okay, so how about let's talk about our current feelings now before we kind of go into the history.
Yeah.
So, how do we feel about Disney's Star Wars now? Go.
I think if you look down to it, it's all for the money.
Oh, that's the only reason why they acquired it, because they knew it was going to be,
And they've been dumbing it down for all the stupid kids. Star Wars Resistance, if any of you losers watched it, I watched 2 minutes of it, and there was this droid that came up, and his name was Bucket or something. He's half a droid, he was all broken and crap, and this one of the nerdy pilot dude was like, "Oh, Bucket!" I'm like, "Oh, I'm done. That's it. I'm done. I've had it." So yeah, I haven't watched any more of that, but I heard it's terrible. And he's worse than Ezra, the main character. Yeah. But yeah, and Star Wars Rebels was okay, but it was still more for the money and for the kids, for the toys.
I really enjoyed it.
It was decent in the story, but it was nothing like Clone Wars. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing I don't think can ever top what Filoni managed to do with that with George. Because even George, that was very much his passion project. He put, at least for the first couple of seasons and the movie, he put a lot of his own money and in developing new techniques for it, and to, finding a unique art style for it. So I just think that has a lot of talent behind it, and it has a lot of I don't know. That's what will always make it stand apart from the Rebels. Because you could draw similarities, but just... Actually, no, you could. They're so different, and just one's so superior. It's just yeah. But I think, for me, that it's weird. The whole thing, well, of course it's for the money. That's the only reason why they tried to acquire it in the first place. But I think they've been, Bob Iger over at Disney, he's been very open about how, even just recently he came out and he said that, they're going to slow down and that they do too much, way too fast. And I can...
Way too fast. Way too fast. No, it's, way more than way too fast. They've been pumping it out every year.
Yeah, and I feel like Star Wars, and even just how it was back in the olden days, you know, the good times, and with like the original trilogy, it's just like, because I mean, like every 3 years or something like that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. It was 77, and it was like 80.
80, yeah.
And then it was 83. Yeah.
So I think that they need to, and that's what I mean. Really, and the reason why it was like that at the time wasn't because they were waiting to release it, just because they genuinely took that long to make. It
took that much time, yeah. Which made them better in the long run.
Exactly, and that's why they've held up, is because you can tell that so much effort and so much talent has just gone
Well,
into
even the prequels took, like, there was like 2 or 3 years in between each of those, right?
And yeah.
99, 2002, and then 05, yeah.
And that could just also have been, and movies take time to make. Like, we're not saying that, you know, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, but they made a Star Wars movie every flipping year.
Well, yeah, and that's just by virtue of them having so many directors that they can just pull around and do whatever with. So, anyways, but I just wish that they would have, because they could have really, I think The Force Awakens was a taste of, like, what it could have been, and just, you know, how rich the lore already seemed, like, even though we didn't know much about it, like, we felt like we were being introduced to this new world, and there's these interesting characters, and, like, it felt like a beginning.
Right.
And The Last Jedi, and we've already talked about this, so we'll keep it light, but, like, that kind of messed everything up.
Well, same thing with, like, Rogue One, that was decent.
Rogue One was,
and people were like, oh, okay. But then Han Solo, like, what?
Well, then it was Last Jedi, and then it was Han Solo. Right. And I think at that point, there's another thing we'll have to talk about, too, is just saturation. You know, people just having too much, like, Star Wars, like, exhaustion. And I think that is important, too, because that definitely plays. That's why you should, even if it doesn't take you that long, to make a Star Wars film nowadays, just because of all the directors that you can pull in, all the different projects you can have, you should still just wait, because the audience will get sick of it.
Yeah, well, they only want the money. They want it now. They want the money as soon as they possibly can.
Like, they would rather just quantity over quality.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I think that's not good for filmmaking. That's not good for anything,
That's
really.
what they do with everything. There's a new Marvel movie that comes out every year. It's the same thing.
Well, Marvel has a little more leeway.
Well, yeah, there's different. Like,
it's very different.
And whatnot, but still, you know what I mean? You get what I'm saying.
Yes. Okay, so we should just hop right in. So, 2012. Oh, boy. Disney had acquired Lucasfilm for $4.5 billion.
What a steal!
Yeah, I think George was just happy to get it off of his hands, because he's like, he wasn't really, I think I was thinking of Strange Magic. That was clearly a passion. Did you see that? Mm-mm. It was a Lucasfilm movie. It came out in 2015, like early 2015. So
really? I never even heard about that.
It's it's not a Star Wars property.
Well, I know, still.
It's like this weird faux Disney film that had a bunch of pop songs. It was about fairies, about this fairy that got, like, cheated on her wedding day.
Dang.
It was weird, but I kind of liked it. But anyways, so, and Kathleen Kennedy, who was originally co-chairman at Lucasfilms, became president with George Lucas having stepped down, and people give her, whether she's a woman who is has a high seat of power, it could be for a multitude of reasons. Whether she's kind of the face of the company.
That's what I was about to say. It's probably just because her face is stamped right on Lucasfilm, like right over the letters, and I don't know.
It could be a multitude of things, but clearly there is a weird vendetta against her within the fan base, and I don't think.
Oh, she's a meme now.
Yeah, I don't think it's entirely fair, because not all of it's really her fault. I mean, if you're gonna, shit on her, you should, do it on the JJ, do it on all the other I mean, people have laid into
Rian Johnson.
People have just murdered him. So but then
he deserves it. No, it's not his fault either. It's Disney's fault for making him do it.
Making him? Okay. Okay. But so since then, the Disney films, like the Disney spin-offs, so the sequels that have come out, so that's Force Awakens, Rogue One, Last Jedi, Solo, they have all grossed well over what their property was purchased for. The Force Awakens being the highest at over $2 billion worldwide, and then Solo having earned the least at $392.9 million. So for any film, that's pretty low. Yeah. Worldwide too. That's not just domestic.
Yeah, because nobody was excited because no one cares.
It was the exhaustion setting in and just the fatigue. That's what they've been saying. Yeah, it's.
Well, yeah, because wait, Last Jedi came out in December, and then that came right out in May, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was way too short.
Way too soon, and I feel like they were just trying to pump that one out because they knew that waiting wouldn't do it any good.
Yeah. Well, and then Solo, like, the topic no one really cares about anyway, because literally everything that happened in that movie we kind of knew, like all the major events, like Han met Chewbacca in an Imperial camp. We knew that, like, and a pointless love story, and then bringing Maul back into it. It was just a big waste of time.
Okay, can we talk about because I think that Darth Maul cameo now. I'm gonna be kind of a devil's advocate / still supporter of the clone. I don't know. Let me get my point out, because I've had that specific cameo to me sticks out as Disney. It's desperation. It's like they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And they're thinking, this is a character that this other good thing that people used to like that was on that we took away. Like, okay, they'd be happy to see him. It just feels so desperate and just It's where are they going with that? Like it's
right,
it's
because
so
we haven't heard anything about it since. I mean, it made sense because Darth Maul is like a crime lord during that time.
Yes.
But it just was just so random because like we don't know what happens after that, and I don't think we're ever gonna know until like a comic or something stupid.
Yeah, because
maybe the Mandalorian TV show, or Star Wars Resistance. Maybe he'll come back in that too.
I don't see any payoff happening for the film. For the book side of stuff, which I've never really been into in the first place. I like my movies. I like my TV shows. That's kind of as much as I'll go for, unless it's EU. I'm glad they didn't try to... Oh, can you imagine if they tried to do Mara Jade? Try to bring her into this? As hyped as I think I would have been to see that maybe 2 years ago, I'm so glad they didn't touch her, because she's queen. Bless.
Well, now there's like talk like, oh, she's gonna come back in the next movie.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, that'll just be cringe.
They had gold. They spun gold with Force Awakens. This Force Awakens, as much as you can say it's a carbon copy of New Hope, yeah, it is. I won't deny it. But it was a solid film that was a great lead-in for a new trilogy and a new generation. And it
was safe.
It was safe, exactly. And that's kind of all it had to be. It had to be decent. It had to be average. And I thought it exceeded that. I thought the characters, the performances, I thought Rey was such an interesting character.
Sandy Finn.
Sandy. Oh my God! Don't bring that here. No. That threw me off for a second. But yeah, it had so much like opportunity that they could do with it, and okay. So basically, from their acquisition in 2012, a lot of like major changes started to happen with, like the subsections of like the company. So with Lucasfilms, you have LucasArts, and so that that had like Knights of the Old Republic, that came from that, and like the original Battlefront 2, the good one.
Yeah.
That's the creme of the crop. Ooh, that is some. Why? Okay, we'll get to EA in a second. I hate what they've done with that, and I'm a gamer in passing. Okay, but even that original Battlefront is like my literal childhood. Okay, Force Unleashed, like with Star Wars games. Once again, that is some high quality meme material. And then another classic, the Star Wars Connect.
Oh God, the Han Solo thing.
I'm Han Solo.
Yeah. Yeah, I think EA did a better job than that one, but...
Oh, yeah, but that was rough. I remember them having those demos in Best Buy of, like, the Kinect that come out.
People probably smashed the TVs.
No, people were, like, actually dancing to it. It was weird. I don't like to think about that, but, so LucasArts, so Disney basically, they shut in 2013, so I think, the year probably after most of the stuff had been set into motion with the acquisition, they actually shut down the development side of LucasArts and laid off like most of the employees.
That's great, Disney.
And I mean they were like in the middle of projects and stuff, so that's just inconvenient. But they kept a few of.
They canceled Clone Wars.
I'll get to that in a minute. It's just wait. But they kept a few of kind of the higher ups in LucasArts just so they can mainly keep it as a video game licensor, so they could like, churn stuff out under that name, but not really create anything, which kind of sucks. Because I thought there's so much talent, like all those games. I mean, they have stuff going back like far back, but like like the original Pod Racer game.
Yeah, like we were playing that one time.
Yeah, it's like they have, and I just think that because they could just be like these fake, like easy, like money maker. And some of them are, but then a lot of them, like Knights of the Old Republic, like that's a very like that you can see a lot of creativity went into that game.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of world building. I think that's great. That's the only like kind of outside of the films. That's the world building. That's the kind that I like appreciate because I'm like someone put in a lot of work into that. And I just think that's great.
Leave a comment in the description if you want me to see me play that game. Okay.
I thought you already did a playthrough for that.
No, I did like one episode like 3 years ago, and I never continued.
Yeah, but so, and then later on in 2013, Disney announced that they had made a deal with a little-known company as Electronic Arts.
Oh, yeah!
And thus began the dark era of microtransactions and bullshit. So, yeah, along with those kinds of changes that came from just the acquisition, the Clone Wars, I remember. Can we just take a moment, please? And I know it's coming back, but it's not really coming back. It's the reels, but they're just gonna be finished.
Yeah, why'd it take them money?
Yeah, it's gonna be on this new streaming service. I hate that.
Well, everybody's just gonna take a free trial of their streaming service and just watch the whole thing. And
or better yet, they'll put it on some sites.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 movies sponsor.
They're not gonna sponsor your ass. But yeah, so Clone Wars was canceled after its 5th season. Excuse me. The 6th being released on Netflix, and the 7th, and it was initially only in like the unfinished reels that they released on like the website for free.
YouTube, yeah.
Yeah, well, the people took it from the website. Yeah. But, yeah, so I just remember my little, I think I was like 8? Maybe, I don't know. I remember being so heartbroken, because that show is legit, like, my childhood.
I was mad at Disney.
I was, especially because it wasn't even just, I mean, at that point,
I'd already... that was in, like, 3rd grade.
Yeah, it's weird.
Jeez. Oh, God. That was a long time.
We're getting old.
Old.
So, but I just remember being, especially because at that point I was already interested to like in the film and then like the animation. I was more geared into animation at that time. Now I'm just more like straightforward film. But I remember being like, because just the fact that it was canceled before, like, it was really, the story was wrapped up, and like hearing all the interviews, it's like, we were planning to go for like 9 seasons. It's like,
yeah, it's like, oh.
Maybe 8. 9 might be pushing it. But 8.
I mean, they got better every season, so you never know, but still.
But do you think with those 8 to 9 seasons, because really at the time that the 5th season, so that's the last one.
That was getting close to 66. Yeah.
Exactly. So are you thinking that maybe that would have been
what if Rebels, they would have went like, yeah, whoa.
But like a grittier, more Clone Wars-like version
right,
in the
right.
style with some of the characters. God fucking damn it, Disney.
Maybe it would have showed like Rex and like him getting away from like stormtroopers and Vader and all that crap and.
Well, even, like, less than that.
Going into hiding and all that good stuff.
It could have...
And then Ahsoka and Rex making the rebellion because, Ahsoka was big with that and they would have found Leia and all that. Oh, my God! Thank you, Disney.
Oh, that's cold. But, yeah, but it was clear from then, once that had been canceled, oh, by the way, that was canceled in, like, 2014, so just want to make that clear. But it was clear that Disney definitely wanted to weed out, like, the previous Lucasfilm-based productions and stuff like that, and instead start churning out their own, and by doing this, they kind of, like, alienated the original fans and fans of the prequels, as well as the mix that grew up with the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
So, it's just all... I think they kind of screwed themselves over, not just by canceling, not just by canceling the Clone Wars, but just kind of by overall, I don't know, everything felt so deliberate, and just felt so, like, quick, like, okay, we gotta start doing our own stuff. It's like, I mean, you still have, like, access, and I'm pretty sure they have the rights to that stuff, so it's not like they had to stop
they freaking bought it. I don't know why they just shoved all the workers out, like, ha, yeet! And then just stopped everything, and yeah.
Well, I think it kind of coincides, even though it did not exist at this point in time. I think it kind of coincides with with the Kylo Ren quote, which I love, the let the past die, kill it if you have to.
Yeah, but Disney got rid of the good stuff and then brought the crap
Well, they didn't think it was crap. They thought, oh, it's gonna be, it's gonna be the good stuff, and it wasn't.
The gooch.
What'd you say?
It's gonna be the gooch.
Gooch is something else. I hope you know it. I know you mean like Gucci. But like, Gooch is that's not okay. But and because when do you remember when Rebels came out? They come out in 15? 14?
They went on for what, 3 seasons?
Yeah, I think so.
It just ended in
3 or 4.
17,
I don't know.
So like maybe 2014 or 15.
Around that time, yeah. I think it was 15 because I think that's when the Force. It would make the most sense for it.
Yeah.
15. So we're going with. But it was clear kind of around that time that they had to appeal to both fans of the originals, like the original Tridge,
and the children,
and the children too.
Not just the men.
But
the women. Wait, never mind. I messed it up.
Not just the men, but the women and the children too. And and the prequels and the Clone Wars, and so they had to appeal to all that group because I definitely can tell. I mean, as much as they didn't really want to touch anything from the prequels, maybe that's it. But even if like Clone Wars, it was slowly venturing into like a New Hope era, slowly. It was kind of getting there. I don't know. But so they did this, by appealing to all those various fan groups in theory, by making Rebels, a Clone Wars kind of style type cartoon set in a New Hope era with babyish enough, crap.
And they had Clone Wars characters.
And
they brought Leia into it and everybody else.
It felt
and every episode was so different too. Like they would just pull random stuff. Like one episode Leia was in it, another one Darth Maul was in it, and the Bendu and whatever his name was. And they just brought like stuff from all over and just shoved it in there. They had one episode where they went and like fought on a train for a fruit.
Yeah. I gave up after. They had one episode that I think they put on for free, or like they had on ABC that they aired because they're like, we don't know what to do with this, so they just put it on there just for like the premiere, and I was like, nope.
And they brought like Vader into it. They just shoved all the things in there, like it didn't make any sense.
So hypothetically, wait, when did Rebels come out? Because I have to know to make my point as Siri. Great. Oh, God, could you wait? Okay.
I was gonna look it up on there, but no.
No, okay. Let's just assume it's 2015. I'm pretty sure that's why all like the stuff came out, like all the toys and stuff came out for it. So 2015. That's what I'm going with. And if it's wrong, y'all can't get mad at us.
Because we don't care enough to know.
We don't care enough to know. It's in the past. But so if it was in 2015, that's also when Battlefront, the EA Battlefront, was released. Anthony, I'm gonna let you take it over from here, my friend.
Oh man, right from the start, it was a mess. Like Battlefront 2015 sucked. Battlefront 2 is okay. They're handling it bad after the release and the microtransactions, but we'll get into that in a minute. But Battlefront 2015 was just a mess. They had no content. There was like 5 maps. No, not even. I don't think when the game came out. I don't know. And they made you pay for the game for like $80, right? If you get the deluxe edition, and there was already nothing in it, right? Oh man, Scarif map and 2 heroes are coming out. That's another $30 or how much?
It was a lot.
It was a lot of money for each. Like the season pass was like a whole nother game. It's like, okay, This should have been included in the game to start. So people were pissed about that. The game was garbage. The graphics were nice, but the mechanics were terrible, and it did not give anybody like the nostalgia from the old game, like the original Battlefront 2, like everybody was wanting it to. Everybody was ready to jump right back into their childhood. But nope. We get like this Battlefield, Call of Duty style shooting, blowing everything up game. So that was a failure. And then Battlefront 2 came out. Everybody was excited because it was supposed to be better. It was supposed to be an improvement. It was supposed to, pay back for their failure in 2015. And then it comes out. And all the heroes cost thousands of credits. And the only way to get the credits is grind for like 4 months, or you can, or you can buy the stupid crates for money. Oh, and that brought up a lot of legal issues and a huge controversy over microtransactions. So they eventually got that out of there and yeeted that, and that halted their production of all their DLCs which they said the DLCs were going to be free, but oh my god, we've only had one DLC since the game came out and it's been a year, and that was Han Solo DLC, and that was one map and 2 skins. Yeet! That was great! Oh man, what a DLC. And then, now they're coming out with General Grievous and Obi-Wan and Geonosis. Oh my god. And that took a flippin' year, and then it's going to take another 4 months for them to get the other half of the Clone Wars DLC out. It's been a disaster. I like Battlefront 2. It's one of my favorite games. But they're handling it terrible after launch. Yeah.
That was everything I needed to hear and more. Because Battlefront 2, the original, like the one from like 2005?
Yeah.
That was everything it needed to be. Clearly the game hasn't aged well, because I'll still play it.
It has aged actually pretty decent. The graphics aren't horrid.
Well,
You can still tell what everything is, and it feels Star Wars-y.
But I think just the whole way that it was played, because I remember specifically, it was, it was weird. Yeah, everything about it was just what a game like that should be, and then Battlefront,
it had so many maps. It had different modes you can play.
Yes.
Whole bunch of heroes, and you can play online with your buddies and kill each other.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
And everything else. It has more maps than Star Wars Battlefront Flippin' 2. EA had more content, more heroes, more, and that was you can buy that game for $5 now. That's more than their $30 EA game.
So.
And you can get mods.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get any mode, any character, anything you ever want in Battlefront. Anything you want in Star Wars. If you want to play as Kylo Ren with your underwear on, you can do that. That made no sense, but you know what I mean.
What, you mean those high-rise pants?
Yeah, that's probably a mod for that.
I hope there is.
You can probably play Sandy Finn, too.
I'm not going to even try. Okay. But just the whole game. I remember when all that crap was coming out earlier this year about, those microtransactions and how, because it was, becoming, it was almost, it was weird, because people,
and countries were, banning that and crap. It was oh, man. It was
I think it was a state, I don't remember. The research I don't do, let me tell you. But, it was bad.
So, why did Disney decide to... That's the question we need to figure out. Why did Disney decide to go with EA? Because they've sucked. Battlefield is a terrible game.
Well, my guess is that, since they had shut... Because LucasArts would have been the ones that would have done it.
It would have been fine.
Released it initially, and I think just because they had already botched that side, they just needed something that was more accessible. Because what had EA done, aside from their Madden games for the DS, which, EA, it's in the game. Oh, well, that's another facet of my childhood right there. Oh, that had good multiplayer on it.
Well, even their sports games have been all about the microtransactions.
Really?
Lately. I've heard that there was, because in FIFA, I think there was, some microtransactions, and there was, I heard something about that they were gonna, there was gonna be some jail sentences, if they didn't take them out or something. It was oh.
Wait, okay.
I heard about that somewhere, and we need to look that up.
It's not, that is not,
no, it was some big legal trouble, though.
For sure, and just even with Battlefront, that's what it's been. But I just didn't know, I don't know what first-person, I am ignorant. This is why that's why I'm glad I do this with Andy, because I wouldn't be able to carry this by myself. But, I don't know what kind of first-person shooter-esque games. That's essentially, that's what Battlefront really is now. It's just, such a stale, basic bitch, first-person shooter. I don't know what they had done prior. Because really, all I know for EA is their, sports games. It's, Madden, FIFA. It's
Battlefield.
But the Battlefield... When did that one come out? I feel like that one came out... Depends on which one. Wait, was the first...
Well, they've done all the Battlefields. But
when did the first one come out? See,
I don't know.
I'm a gamer.
Years and years ago.
Okay. I just didn't know that. Because what's the one that came into a meme with the... Bam, 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 bam.
I don't know.
But yeah, so I just... they all are about... And, can we talk about this? Wait. Never mind. Never mind. Because I was about to rant about it, but then I realized that they had been doing that since before Disney. Which I didn't realize. Did you realize that they had been doing Star Wars weekends before Disney had bought Star Wars?
Star Wars weekends in terms of what?
You know, the stuff that they would do at Disney World.
Oh, so you mean like the like San Diego, or they do like all the Star Wars events?
Or they do like the dancing.
Yeah, they've been doing that for a long time.
They've been doing that for a while, and I didn't realize that because I thought that was a Disney thing. Because it seems like it would be, you know.
Because it's so cringy. Because Vader comes out with like a Michael Jackson glove and grabs his crotch and whatnot. And, yeah, they've been doing that for a while, which is strange because it's so bad.
Oh, another topic of video games. I think they have botched and ruined my Lego Star Wars.
Oh God! Oh my God! I forgot about that. Who produced the Lego Star Wars game? That's a good question. Well, okay, here's my rant with that, and I've ranted with people before, and I've talked about this with a lot of people. The Lego Star Wars, the Force Awakens one that recently came out.
Mhm.
Have you played it like at all?
Yes.
Okay.
The new one.
Anyway, it's like a first-person shooter.
It's weird as
like,
shit.
You're like ducking down between stuff, and you're going up with like your gun and like shooting, but like that's not Lego Star Wars. Because original Lego Star Wars, you just go around and just blast everything and build stuff and whatever. Now it's like they talk to each other. It's like reenacting the movie, and it's like a first-person shooter game with Legos. Weird. It's like not even fun. Because remember back in the old Lego games, they didn't even talk. They were like, That was
and I really like that.
Yeah.
It's cute and it's unique.
And yeah, it gave some imagination. But yeah, now it's turned into a modern first-person shooter. Probably just to get the kids like, whoa, this is fun. I like ducking behind stuff and shooting people. Let's go get some of the other games. Like, it makes more money. It's all about the money.
Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment, and they've done all the new Lego games.
So how come they're doing first-person? Because even like some of the other newer games, like the what's the Jurassic World, that was kind of the same thing. It was like a first-person shooter, and they actually talk. Why?
But I think that was just the charm that the original had, is that they were all just like,
That, and it's not like you have to like aim and like with all this crap and like all the things like Battlefront. It's basically Battlefront, but then like
because what's at that point, if you're gonna have them talk and be very much like, then what's the point of having it in Lego form? You might as well just do like live action, like just real people. Because even I was thinking like the last Lego Star Wars game that they released before LucasArts went, I don't want to say went under, because it's a license. Like they literally just will release stuff under their name now, but before they kind of halted production on anything. It was the Clone Wars one, and even that, I mean, you can still, because that little cute thing is like they actually had the original voice actors of the show just do all the.
Oh really?
Yeah, they had all. I'm like, that's so great. And I think that's just because it's an animated show and they're all voice actors, but I was still like, you could have brought in Daisy Ridley and John Boyega and all those people.
It would have been really cute.
It would have been really nice, and it's like, because. Honestly, at that point, if you're gonna have them talk, if you're gonna have them, first person, like, then what's the point of having? You might as well just make them like real.
Yeah, you might not make them Lego at all then.
Because I always like to think that because when I would do my Legos, when I would like play with mine, I'd like be like I would actually talk to, but then like it just felt more imaginative and like
right, yeah,
and then when you build everything and stuff, but now there's like it's dumb.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Why have them be Legos at that point? Whatever.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So for the film, now on to we talked in great. If you only want to hear us talk about the gaming side of things, and y'all should subscribe to Anto Gaming because he's got that gaming stuff unlocked. But now we're gonna venture into the film side of things. Now,
oh boy.
I think I put my notes away for this one because I'm just gonna be I'm gonna be candid. I thought The Force Awakens, which was the first Disney released, or like, you know what I mean. It was the first one that was under their brand, but and with their influence, because you can very much feel, even though I thought that it was a solid film, it very much felt like a Disney Star Wars film. It felt very and I don't want to say infantile, because it's not like prequels had some goofy shit. Okay, that was, But, I doubt we'll get a Revenge of the Sith out of Disney.
Right.
As much as I think that pushed the envelope and went far, and I may have gone too far, and I don't remember what that was. Okay, that was just from, never mind. If you'll know what it's from, But I just think that it felt like a Disney Star Wars film. It felt so, just base. I don't know. It's hard because you can feel it just when you're watching it. It's not really gritty. It doesn't really feel. Not that the prequels were like glossy. They were like sheen, plasticky.
But it fit the setting. It fit like because they like the more
like the Kaminoan, like all that
right,
stuff.
Right.
Kamino.
The setting and whatnot. But yeah, I get.
But even Tatooine, I felt like was too clean and stuff. But I feel like there's a difference between being gritty, like thematically, like Rogue One, because Rogue One I think is gritty thematically and just visually. Just because it very much feels like it has the grunge of like A New Hope and stuff, and that's what a lot of people like about it. And, like same here, but I think there's another difference between also being gritty visually and just being feeling more grounded. Not it just, and I think there. But I think I love the most about the original Star Wars films is that they balance, being like the whimsicalness of like the Force. And, like, just, whether that be with the music or just, like the I don't know. They balance that with, the grittiness of the war, like the Hoth battle and stuff.
Yeah.
And not so much Return of the Jedi when that show was just a cartoon. But, just, and that's why that's why I can get so swept up in those films is because I feel like I'm, like, this war, it feels real. But then there's also this, and I think that's what's so unique about Star Wars is it's always had the wars, but it's also had this, like, force and this whimsical, like, this, it's so, I don't know really any other property that has that.
Right.
And that's what's so special about it. That's why everyone loves it. And I think that Disney kind of, I mean, they've done the Force. They've done the Force projection.
Force, like, freeze and, like, all this other stuff. They might have even gone a little too far, but,
I just think that, I don't know. But I can still feel, like, I remember when I went to go see Force Awakens, day after it was released, I remember seeing it in theaters, and during Rey's first introduction, when Rey's theme comes in and stuff, I remember being so swept up in that. Like, it felt like when I was first watching the originals on VHS, which is all I had when I was little. I had that good stuff before those special editions. I got a whole case of them in there. But, because my mom sold mine.
Oh.
Anyway, she's like, well, we don't need them because we're getting rid of our VHS player. And I was like, well.
I need one because I'd rather watch them before they were digitally edited and crap.
Oh, the Rock Band. His uvula. Oh, that's...
yeah.
Okay. But I remember getting so swept up in that and just feeling so just like, wow, like this is great. And I felt that throughout the entire film. There wasn't really a point where I was like, okay, I hate this. There's a moment in Last Jedi where I was like, this is bad.
Yeah.
But that was kind of...
When Rose flies in, yeet! Hits Finn. Yeah, that's the part when I was like, I'm done.
Quote now. I'm done. But yeah, and I don't think they could have done The Force Awakens any better. I just think thematically overall, for all of these new films, and they went darker, they did the darker thing for The Last Jedi, but... It
didn't feel darker, though. It was darker, but it just,
Luke sucking on milk, like, alien
what the
tits.
Heck?
It's like, because... There's a so bad it's good, which I find the prequels, I find at least the first two to be, like, so bad it's good. And the new ones aren't. Or not the new one. The Last Jedi. Solo, I think, is just whatever. It's just kind of a... It was
a decent film, but it makes no sense. It's just there.
I don't think it was decent, but I thought it was hit or miss, and I think it just kind of missed. Like, it could have gotten it for me, because I liked a lot of the elements that they were trying to bring in, but it was... Honestly, it didn't have to be about Han Solo or Chewie. You could have still had Lando, but then you could have had someone else, and then maybe tease Han Solo at the end. I don't know. They could have done something with that, but...
Yeah, well, like I said, we already knew the story, so it was just kind of like...
But I think that's where Rogue One could have done better, because the characters... I mean, if you're gonna have characters that, A, we kind of already know aren't gonna make it, or we already know that they succeed, you need to make these characters, like... You need to make them worth it, and worth the watch, and worth the ride, and worth, getting invested in them. Because if we do lose them, which we do, like, we should care, all of them, we should care more about them. And I just found, as much as K2's death got me, I just found myself not really feeling, like, connected to any of them.
Well, right, because even, like, Jin and Cassian, like, they just kind of, like, shoved them together at the end, like, oh, now they're lovers, ha! you kind of swept up on it by the end, like because they were kind of fighting the whole movie until kind of the end when they kind of came back together.
Oh, there was some angst. I like that.
But yeah, we just didn't have enough time.
Yeah, and that pacing is a huge issue for Rogue One, but I guess we'll talk about that some other time. But I just think overall Disney, too much too soon, and they just Bob Iger, president of little Disney LLC. They're not an LLC. They just he's even said like, yeah, we're slowing things down. But then literally, I feel like, I mean, even though I know it probably wasn't literally the day after, but it feels like literally the day after they announced the Mandalorian show. And they announced a new show. It's like...
Well, no, okay, here's the thing. They got Star Wars Resistance, which is already crap. They've got the Mandalorian thing coming out, and they have this Cassian show.
Yeah!
What the hell? So we already don't care about Cassian because we know he's dead, so who gives a crap? And he was kind of annoying in the movie anyway.
He was nice. He was nice to look at.
He was nice looking. Yeah, I know that. But yeah, he was an annoying character.
Yeah, he was kind of a dick.
Yeah. So no one cares about him for one. We already know he dies. We have a Mandalorian movie, which is kind of exciting, but it's probably going to go...
Or show?
Or whatever it is.
Show.
I don't
it's a
care.
Show. I'm like, did they add another thing? I wouldn't be surprised. It's like... Because I think they mean by slowing down their, like, because the spacing. Because I think that Cassian show, which I completely forgot about, by the way. That Cassian show, that's, like, slated for, like, mid-2019. I don't even know when that... 2020, maybe? I don't know when
they should just cancel that. Oh, and then Clone Wars is coming back. Like, they're not slowing down at all.
Well, Clone Wars was always before... When?
Still.
I'm glad...
That's the only good thing out of all of this.
Because that's already... You feel like it's never really been crap. Like, that's always been consistent quality.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels like course correction because they knew that they canceled it, like, way earlier than they should have.
Now they need to save Star Wars. They need to save the
Last
people from
ditch effort.
burning all their DVDs. Yeah.
Could you burn a DVD? Maybe.
Well, you can damage it. Never mind. So...
Yeah, I completely forgot about that Cassian show.
That's gonna be garbage. I'm probably not even... I might watch it. I might give it a chance.
I wonder... It's gonna be on the new streaming service. I ain't paying for that.
Oh, shoot. Yeah.
Everything. It's like, you're all...
It's all about the money.
Money. But I think you're absolutely right about the Cassian show because I think it's different because that was people's qualms about when Rogue One was even announced. It's like, these people might, we didn't know for sure whether or not they were gonna die, except for the guy that played, I can say it, it's been out for like 2 years now, so if you haven't seen it, it's your fault. I like how I'm addressing the mic as a person. But I think, that was an issue too, because people were like, oh, they're all gonna die, like, why should we care? But we didn't know that at the time, they all do. But I think that's a perfect point, because this is a character that most people have probably forgotten about.
Oh yeah, I haven't thought about him since I last saw the film. That was back in like May.
Okay.
I thought about him when. Never mind. When they announced the show.
Oh yeah.
But why Cassian of all people?
Why exactly?
Even Jin would have been a little more interesting.
But Jin already had a movie and a book.
Yeah, but they could have did the show on the book or something like that. Or they could have did like Saw Gerrera. That would have been a little more interesting. But
nice.
The point... Or even like Bodhi Rook and his Imperial
I'd be
stuff.
okay with that.
But why Cassian? I was in this fight since I was 6 years old! Who gives a crap?
And do the accent.
I don't care.
Don't try.
No. It's just going to end up being... No. But nobody cares about Cassian. Really.
I cared about him until...
You cared about him for the looks,
yeah,
but as
exactly.
a character...
As a character, I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah.
Exactly. Why him? That feels like such a,
Random.
It feels
He dies.
random.
No one cares about him. He sucks. He's a jerk. And
it would have been different if they had done that show, if they
before Rogue One.
Or just instead of Rogue One, a show about these characters, about this long, methodical plan about how they tried to get the plans.
Right, and that would have expanded the story. We would have cared about the characters more, and then when they actually finally ended the show for the finale, when they all died, we would actually care.
And they could have extended, then they could have released, like, The Last Jedi later or something. They could have extended it.
We just fixed Disney and the Star Wars problem.
Oh, it is far from fixed, my friend, even if we did that. Because
it could have fixed it, though.
Yeah, because I love everyone that's in that movie, honestly. Like, Rogue One, I think that's got... And I will say this. I've said it before, and I'm gonna say it again. I think Rogue One, and not just, personal preference, but I think that Rogue One has probably just, in terms of reception, like audience, like how they've, like, received it, I think it's probably had the best, because I mean, you don't have your Daisy Ridleys or Kelly Marie Trans, where they get chased off of social media, and this kind of is also because, like, Felicity Jones doesn't really have any, but I just feel like it was just a movie that happened. It didn't really cause much upset.
No.
Move on. It was great, and it had all these, like...
I didn't even hear any complaints, really. People
really.
were just like, oh, yeah, it was a decent movie, yeah.
Like, established actors, people already working in the industry, really good ones, too. I love everyone that they've gotten for it.
Yeah, it was perfect.
That they had for it. And, yeah, like, it was done. Move on.
It was also an era that everybody's familiar with, too.
Yeah, and everyone was excited to see that again in a new take on it. I think,
updated and whatnot.
And just the grittiness. Everyone was like, yeah, we want that
There
back.
was Clone Wars references, and there was, you got to see Leia and Tarkin and all that.
I don't think anyone was happy for that. If anyone was like, oh my gosh, I got to see Tarkin again.
It was still like, whoa,
It was like, whoa, what am I looking at?
You get what I mean. So...
Yeah, in The Last Jedi, I think that threw a wrench in everything. That was a Jar Jar finger up the engine, up the engine of the pod. That just, like, put a halt to everything, and I just think...
Well, it cut the entire fan base in half, and it's caused controversy and hatred, and people attacking the actors, even though it's not their fault.
It's not their fault,
memes.
people.
It's just been,
It's been a mess.
It has.
Literally, the memes, the racist tirades against Kelly Marie, everything is a mess.
Yeah.
It's like, why? I mean, I know there was some, racial backlash when, The Force Awakens came out, but not like this. But I think this was a better quality film. But I think this film took a lot of risks.
Yeah.
I would say it had alien titty milk. It had Kylo Ren titties. It had a lot of things. But I just think, it was, I don't think it's what people were expecting. I think people genuinely wanted it to be a certain way, and it wasn't. Because I think Force Awakens, no one knew.
That's the problem.
That's the
people
problem.
expected what it was supposed to be, and then I think that's why I kind of liked it, because I wanted it to be something different. I wanted something different I was not wanting some titty milk coming out of this animal and Luke just shoving it in his face. But overall, I didn't want to just see... you know what I mean? I wanted something to... And that's the only... Oh, yeah, there we go. You just did the impression of it. That was hot. But, so it's not even necessarily all Disney's fault, because it was people's mindsets, the audience mindset as well. It goes both ways.
Because I think The Force Awakens, I think what worked so much about that is because no one knew what to expect. People were like, Star Wars, cautious, but, they were still very accepting of it. And it was just...
And they played it safe, so that's why it was acceptable.
It's what people knew.
Yeah. So it didn't go out of bounds.
Because what do you think...
the prequels.
What do you think about the whole, So do you think that... What do you think was, led The Last Jedi to being kind of just such this disaster? Do you think it was audience perception, or was it the quality of the film? And say unbiased. Just be unbiased about it.
Well, kind of like I said, it kind of goes both ways. I mean, they did some stuff that was very unnecessary, like the titty milk. They kind of messed up Luke's story, because why would he just go and... that's a whole nother point. It's such a weird story thing, because, I understand both ways. He would want to just end it so he doesn't have to do it again. But then also, why would he want to just... he saved
texts.
He saved Vader from after he slaughtered millions of people, but then, he didn't want to give Kylo a chance. It kind of works both ways. I see... You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so they kind of messed up Luke, and he died. That was very unnecessary. You already know my Finn and Rose smashing, and that was a mess. Those animal horse things and the Canto Bite was kind of unnecessary. That could have been way shorter, straight to the point instead of all the random crap going on there. But also, the audience was, like we just said, was expecting something, and then it didn't happen, and then they were like, that's bad. It goes both ways. They made some unnecessary things in the movie, but also the audience were too strict on their wants out of the movie.
So do you think that instead, alternatively, Disney should have gone in a different route for The Force Awakens as opposed to doing the A New Hope copy? So then audiences could be more well adjusted to the subversion thing? Because this whole subversion, like, subverting your expectations, like, we've heard a lot of that in the past, year, but...
Yeah.
I
thought it was a decent idea to go with something that we knew, like, because it was safe,
Yes.
But they didn't have to exactly do it. Like, really? A big planet thing that blows up other planets? That was unnecessary.
Wow. Original.
And they copied, like, even the planets, like it was a
Yeah.
sand planet. It was... They copied it way too closely, I think.
They could have made...
They could have kept it similar, but they could have switched it up a little bit. Instead of a big ball that blows up stuff, they could have thought of something original and new. But still kept a similar outline, you know what I mean? So then it was a little different, but it's also safe, so then people would be like, oh, so it would give a taste of both.
But I really, and that's what makes me, I still feel like while they're saying that, oh, we're gonna halt things, we're gonna,
Oh yeah, we're gonna halt with Star Wars Resistance, Mandalorian, Cassian. Oh yeah, we're really halting, aren't we? God. They did cancel all the other movies after Episode 9, though. So.
Yeah, good choice.
Good. The Obi-Wan movie, people were so excited for that, and I didn't understand that because it would have been cool to see Ewan McGregor back, but there's nothing that they could have done with it. It would have been the same thing as Solo. We like the character, but there would be no story. We already know everything. All we would do is watch Obi-Wan, old man Obi-Wan, stalking a little kid on the sand planet having like sex with Tusken Raiders.
What the fuck?
That's all we would have seen.
No, but I think you nailed it like right on the head. You said exactly everything. Like I didn't even know I wanted to say. Yeah, it would have been exactly like Solo.
Yeah.
It would have been unnecessary. We would have been kind of hyped to see what they were going to do with it. But
see Ewan McGregor again. But
Ewan.
You
love him. I wish I could see him one more time. All I got is James Earl Taylor, and I know he's coming back for the Clone Wars, or technically he came back.
See him in Battlefront, so.
I know, I can't wait. I'm so glad they got him. There was some weird... I was looking on YouTube just because I was curious about him. I was like, oh, let me see. They made his face look weird. And he ain't cute enough. But... he looks too, like... But there was some... It was, like, clearly a fake. And even after James Arnold Taylor had already been announced that was him. But they had done, like... There was this weird... I don't know if it was from another game... But it was some janky voice acting. It was like this demo was like all of his emotes or whatever, and it was weird.
God.
Or like all the things that he says. It was weird. And I'm like, that ain't what it is. What? I think he does such a good voice for it. Like, aside from how I personally feel about his voice, I think it's pretty spot on. It's like Alec Guinness and Ewan, like, it's this weird, like, perfect mesh they made. Shout outs to you. You're cool. So, yeah, kind of, to wrap things up a bit, oh, wait, we didn't really talk about Solo. Yeah, what?
No, we did.
Did we? No, we talked about Last Jedi
mentioned
last.
Solo.
I think we should go over that real quick, because that was the nail in the coffin. I mean... Between it barely making anything.
Yeah. Well, it was because of Last Jedi. Everybody was like, oh, it's gonna be... But, like I just said, it was just, wow, Han Solo's back, but we already know the story. Who gives a crap?
But
nothing's gonna happen that's gonna affect anything.
I think it was between the fatigue.
Yeah.
How soon, like, The Last Jedi and, like, that whole thing. And it's the marketing. It's like... Because, I mean, The Last Jedi, oh, you're like, oh, sequel to Force Awakens. Oh, next one. Okay, you have that. And then I think, but even Rogue One did pretty good. I mean, I was looking at all that stuff today. I was like, it held a match to, like, all the other ones. But I think that Solo, it said to Disney that, like, yeah, you guys kind of did things way too quickly. You're seeing the slow, like, decrease. And it's like, yeah.
Well, Solo wasn't even that memorable either.
Wasn't.
Like, someone mentioned it the other day, and I'm like, oh, yeah, there was a Han Solo movie. Oh, yeah, that's right. It was a decent film, in my opinion. I thought it was fine, but, like, it's not memorable, and it doesn't add anything to Star Wars story. overall.
You know
it's just a waste of money and time.
And good actors.
And
I like, except for he was Aldrich Aaron. I thought he was okay actually.
Yeah, he's.
But everyone else I really like, so I was ashamed to see all that talent go to waste. But I think there is some. Well, it did. I think there's a similarity, because okay, I'm gonna play the biggest devil's advocate for all you Last Jedi haters. I'm sorry, and it actually like literally pains me to do this, but I have to. Here's what I'll say about this. And you were talking about things being memorable, how Solo wasn't. Here's what I'll say. It's similar to what Roger Ebert says. I'm gonna give you a little film factoid for you people. It's similar to what Roger Ebert said about a comedy that Tom Green had starred in following Freddy Got Fingered. It's a good movie. It's not a good movie. That's something that you should check out. But he said it's like, you know, like, I still remember it. I still remember that movie. It's like, I won't remember this, but I still remember that. And I can say that about The Last Jedi. It's like, as much as, like, you know, so I can barely even remember what the hell happened in that movie.
And, you know, me neither. Like, I watched, like, 3 or 4... I don't even own the DVD. Crap. I watched it, like, 2-3 times, and I don't even remember what happened.
No, once for me. But I will say this about this. You know, Last Jedi, that green alien titty milk, that's memorable.
Yeah.
The Rose crashing into Finn, that's memorable. The Canto Bite thing, that's memorable. Whether or not, it's for good reasons. The snow come closer. Like,
that's like in my dreams now.
Like, all of that, I think, it will still, like, that's stuff that we remember. And it's like, and, you know, whether it will live on in infamy, it still will live on. And it will still very much, you know, carry, you know, semblance throughout the rest of these films, depending on how much they go for, how longer they go for. But I just think, and that could just be, it could just be how appalling it was, seeing all of that and being like, what?
Well, yeah, Solo is not memorable at all. Nobody talks about it anymore. It's over, and it's stuck in the past.
It's over, Anakin.
I have the high ground.
I will miss the what the Force Awakens could have, because you know how pumped I was leaving the theater. I was like, can't wait for the next one. Rogue One
me too. I was so excited. I wanted to see. I saw the Force Awakens like somewhere between 5 and 9 times in the theater, like somewhere between there. Yeah. So.
Only. But and then Rogue One came out. Like, it was still good. I was like, you know what? I'm still, and my freaking Jin theory had me even more pumped to see it, which didn't happen. Missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Missed opportunity. So, I mean, okay, let's...
Luke and Jin, that's a cute couple, just saying.
Right? I ship. Smarter than freaking...
Just imagine a young Luke and... Oh, yeah, that would be hot.
Wow, we just learned something about... Yeah, I'd take either of them. But I just think that, too much too soon. So, how about what anecdotes? Like, what do you think that Disney could do in the future?
It's done.
It's not done. It's never done. We can...
Okay, they need to shut down Star Wars Resistance and the Cassian show. Keep the Mandalorian show as their main show, I think. That would be a good idea.
Yeah, keep it to 1, and then...
Yeah. And then they need to make episode, 9?
Yeah,
They need to make episode 9 really strong, and people need to love it.
Strong way to go out, yeah.
Right, and people need to be able to... It needs to be able to wrap up the trilogy very well. Like, it needs to be a spectacular movie. Like, it has to be so good. And then people will be like, oh yeah, that was good. And then Clone Wars will come out. Or wait, or will Clone Wars come out first?
Clone Wars will probably come out before.
Okay, so Clone Wars comes out, everybody's getting hyped.
Everyone will be good for
and then they have like a slamming amazing movie coming out.
Never mind, go.
Yeah, everybody will be so hyped with Clone Wars and a great episode 9. People will be going absolutely insane. Then they can bring back some of their other trilogy, like the people make Game of Thrones. Like, if they do a trilogy, then people will be hyped for that, and that'll hopefully be good. Is that even still on plan?
I
or is that
doubt
canceled?
it. But
Anyway.
you need to get on that Game of Thrones shit. That's good.
But yeah, I think the key.
You get to see Kira naked.
Oh yeah. So Clone Wars and Episode 9 need to really be good, and that'll capture everybody's attention again. And then they just need to be careful about their moves after that.
But I think regardless, they're gonna keep milking it for what it's worth.
Oh yeah, it's going down fast. That's the antidote that I wish would happen, but it's not. They're gonna have like 10 TV shows by the end of next year, and the episode 9 is gonna suck. Clone Wars is gonna be babied down.
It's not. It's just the reels, and then the other episodes that they already made, but they didn't release.
And it's just gonna go down from there. Like that's what's gonna happen.
I'm hoping, in my perfect world, and I think the reason why I have some restored hope in, I'm almost trying to say the name of it, but the name really hasn't been released for episode 9, is that JJ's doing it again, and JJ, Force Awakens. So...
What do you think about the Luke coming back to life thing?
Wait, what?
There was, rumors that Luke's coming back to life. It was just...
I think Mark Hamill's just done. Did you see him in any of the press for...
Oh, God. Even on, Instagram, he complains and all this. Some of the interviews, he's just like...
He looks like he wants to kill himself. He looks so depressed.
Well, I think he was very disappointed.
You can tell.
With what they've done with his character.
And even, in the behind-the-scenes stuff, he's just, he remembers, he talks, said to Ryan, it's like... if this blows up and is great, then, yay. But then if this doesn't, it's, your ass. So...
And also, he's by himself. He doesn't have Harrison or Carrie with him. He's probably just sitting on with all these young kids. Like, Kylo Ren and Rey. All these young kiddies without his best friends that he's grown up with forever.
That makes me sad.
And they're destroying his character. He's probably just hating himself.
Aww,
he probably doesn't want to come back.
Yeah. Marky Moo. Oh, it makes me sad.
If I was him, I'd hate myself too.
It ain't your fault. You're not the. But I think the one way I think I would have good peace of mind is that I at least, because he definitely at least tried to is that he at least tried to steer Ryan away from that and was telling him even as.
And he was being open with people, the world, be ready.
I don't like this.
Yeah.
So.
I hate how they were mean to him about that too. Like, you need to shut up or whatever.
The fans?
No, because they didn't want him saying stuff like that.
I mean, he's got...
hating on the movie, but...
But I have hope. It's slim. Hope.
Cannot save them. It's an Iden quote.
Oh, yeah, that's why I wouldn't know it. Yeah, your obsession with Iden's a little weird. But, so yeah, that's kind of just all I really have to... say about
that's it. It's a mess.
It's a mess, but
it's going down. Ah!
Okay.
Oh God.
Okay. So yeah, that's kind of it. Thank you once again for listening.
Yeah.
So you can find me at Soph_Taji on the Instas or on Soph Labs. I'll have a review. I
gotta put you in the description.
Yeah.
And I think I have to put your channel in the future.
You don't have mine in there too.
Well, because it was your old one. You messed it all up with me.
Okay.
Put your thoughts in the comments on all of these
and what we should do for our next one. So.
Yes, ideas, please. That'd be great.
And so you can find Anthony, of course, on his channel and.
Yeah.
And his what's your Insta? Yeah, get good.
Oh, it's like Anto Gaming something. There's a link on my homepage.
Okay, so yeah, we'll catch you guys later. Thanks for listening once again, and that's our episode. Bye.
Bye.